Now, Dr. Donohue, you are someone who truly cares about religious liberty. It's your cause. Tell me why Donald Trump's message sends shivers down your spine.
Well, I'll give him some credit for raising the issue of terrorism and the seriousness of this issue, because I don't think our president has addressed it with the kind of seriousness that he should. But where Donald Trump and I depart is his idea of going after Muslims and saying that you're not allowed to come into this country because there are some bad apples within that group. He's wrong on that. He's deadly wrong on that. It's not only, I would say, arguably unconstitutional, but it's certainly, without question, morally offensive. I don't like the idea of picking out Catholics or Jews or Protestants or any other religion, Muslims included. That's what we really call religious profiling. And if you have a problem with people coming in from the Middle East, I understand that. They're not coming in from Iceland and Greenland. We understand that. So go ahead and vet them. Do a better job in vetting people. Make sure that you have the information on people perhaps before they come in. But what you can't do is say, because you're a Muslim, therefore you're disqualified from entering the United States.
Trump fundamentally thinks this is a religious war, so he's okay with religious profiling. He says, you know, if we don't stop Muslims from coming into the country, there'll be another World Trade Center attack, or even worse than that. What do you say to that?
No, you don't have to stop Muslims from coming in. You have to stop those radical Muslims from coming in who are engaged in the promotion of Sharia law. There's a distinction between those who are on the fringe, the radicals, the extremists, those who believe in terrorism as a way of life, and those people who are good Americans like anybody else, but they happen to be Muslim. So you've got to make these distinctions. If we don't make these distinctions, what are we going to do? Have a roundup like we did with the Japanese in the internment camps in World War II? That's not something I think this country is very proud of.
People are scared with these attacks. They have a right to be scared. Many of Trump supporters are saying, you know what, they're Muslim. What do you say to them when they think they can't be safe if we're letting Muslims into the country?
What I'm saying is that, it's not a big surprise that in every demographic group, racial, ethnic, religious, you're going to find a segment of the population that does act in a bad fashion. Now, it is incredibly important to recognize that when you kill in the name of your God, when you say that God is great, and you're uttering prayers as you rape young women, as happens in the case of these Muslim terrorists, that is fundamentally different than some crazy Christian who goes out there and starts killing people. So there is a serious problem with Islamism, with radical Islam. And I have a problem with people like Hillary Clinton, who says that we can't use the word radical Islam, and with our president, who says we can't use Islamists. Having said that, to tar all Muslims, and certainly Muslim Americans, who by and large are as good Americans as anybody else, with the same brush, I think that is pernicious.
So you say he crosses the line here. You're saying vet people if you have to, vet them from the Middle East if you have to.
Well, not only that, but has he ever thought this thing through? It is against the law in this country for the government to ask people about their religious identity. That's been shown going back for decades, at least a half a century, because of the Census Bureau came to that conclusion many years ago. So we only know whether, 22, 25% of the population is Catholic when you go through surveys conducted by universities and Gallup and the like. My point is this. If you're coming in from, let's say, Montreal, and you're going to be stopped at the border, how are they going to know who's a Muslim? The government is not allowed to ask you the question what your religious identity is. Are we going to go on looks? Are we going to assume this guy looks like it? What if he's a Sikh? You see, the whole thing is, even operationally, it's not something that can ever be pulled off. But my principal objection is that it is racial profiling in the worst sense of that. It's not fair to most Muslims. We can and should protect ourselves in a way much better than what we've done. There are other means to do it without going this far.
And now, Doctor, we've had a lot of Republicans come out and you say this is wrong, just like you're saying now. How do you think this will play out in the debate tonight?
Well, I think it's very interesting, particularly for the people that it seems to be, it's down to basically three people. It's Trump, Cruz, and Rubio. For my read on this, I guess Christie may not be out of it because he's doing well in New Hampshire. Bush has shown nothing, so he has to step up on this issue tonight. I think it's particularly tricky for Cruz and Rubio, who are the ones closest to Trump, they've got to be strong with the American people in letting us know that you're going to take a much stronger stand in terms of defending national security than our current president or the person running in his party for president. But at the same time, this is a delicate walk. If you're going to be in the same camp with Donald Trump, that's a mistake. And in fact, they have to make it a clear break. This idea of saying, well, he has some very good points, and I'm basically with him. No, I'm with Donald Trump on some things, but he has definitely crossed the line. This is a bright line here. You cannot engage in this kind of religious profiling. And if they want to be associated with him tonight, it'll be to their detriment. Are they ready for the riposte, for his response to them? I don't know, but that's up to them.